Yeah, piggybacking on what you just said, when the cops were demonized, when it was at its height, there's a nationwide trend, which I'm sure you're intimately familiar with, called depolicing. So cops just didn't want to do anything because they didn't feel that they had the support of their administration in many cases. They knew they didn't have the support of, the media, and they didn't want to just do their job and maybe perhaps make some small mistake and then be on the 11 o'clock news, and then everybody, you have to move and you have to change your identity and everything because people want to come after your family and stuff, all because in the heat of the moment, you made a decision that was later deemed to be maybe not the best decision you can make. So what that does is that emboldens criminals. I mean, if you're not out there being proactive as cops, what you're doing is you're giving a green light to criminals. And so the people that think they want, to demonize the cops, they're hurting themselves. I mean, nobody benefits from that because cops don't do their job. The criminals are going to step up and fill that gap, And then there's that hesitancy, right? There's that hesitancy to use force, especially maybe if a cop is of one nationality and he's dealing with someone of a different color and he doesn't want to do what he knows he's supposed to do because he's going to second guess and he's going to hesitate. And maybe that is going to cost him his life. And that's unbelievable. That should not happen. And no one should be targeted because of their ethnicity, but you should also not give anyone a pass because of their ethnicity. That's just completely wrong.
And here's what this means to you, the listener. Here's what it means to you, the cop, you, the citizen. It's really, really bad. You need to arm yourself. You need to protect your loved ones. You need to train. You need to have a gun. You need to go to the range. I tell people, I train the Secret Service. I am my family's Secret Service. My family deserves the same protection the president does. And when I'm willing to train and carry, they have the same protection the president. That's the great freedom of our nation, that every life is precious and every life is worthy of armed security if you're willing to do it.
Yeah, and you need to be responsible for yourself and your loved ones, because even if the officers are well trained, and most are well intended, they may not be there in time. You're not going to have that window of opportunity. That's like thinking, I'll put on my seatbelt before I get in a crash type of thing. You know what I mean? To think that the officers are going to be there to save you. It's just most of them really want to, but they just might not have the ability to do that. So
let's go back to that defund the police thing and think it through. No cops. Get rid of all the cops. That's their agenda. Empty all the prisons. That's their agenda. Well, what would it be like? Well, you ever seen anybody? A lot of people heard of the movie The Purge. And The Purge turned off the murder law for one day. Now, The Purge didn't empty all the prisons. The Purge didn't turn off all laws. The Purge is just a tiny peek of what it'd be like. It would be chaos and despair. And we'd never put the pieces back together again. We can go a day without food. We can go a day without water. One day without justice. We've never put the pieces back together again. The only thing we do more than justice is the air that we breathe. And so believe in who you are, whether you're an armed citizen or you're a cop or any place else. Believe in who you are. Believe in what you do. You are what's right and strong and true and good about our nation from our youngest days.
And you are the good guy. You're not going to do things to prey on the weak.
Where that came from, it's this Marxist concept that world breaks down in two parts, the oppressor and the oppressed. And the oppressor can do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
The oppressed is always the bad guy. Mm. So in Israel, the Israelis are the oppressor. And they raped and slaughtered and killed, as many people as we lost at Pearl Harbor, the October 7th attack did to Israel. And the idea that they deserved it. They deserved to have their children slaughtered. They deserved to be raped and murdered. So when that happened in Pearl Harbor, we declared war. We bombed Tokyo over 2 nights of firebombing Tokyo. We killed 100,000 people. We nuked 2 nations. We starved a nation when Pearl Harbor killed about the same amount of people at a military target. Same things happened to Israel. And so we've got to understand this, the idea that that it's okay for them to do that because Israel's the oppressor and these are the oppressed. And that's the same mindset with our criminals. The criminals are oppressed and the cops are the oppressors. And there's some value in that model, used carefully, but it's been carried to an extreme and we got to realize where they're coming from. Yep. It's sick.